Hello. I'm going to make the ones who know what this is cry because you know what? I've been crying for the last 2 hours over this. And I'm just going to read it. Akashi woke up to the feeling of sunlight against his face. It was warm on him, certainly something that one would find comforting. But as he, whatever that word is, stirred in the bed, he was certain that something was off. He kept his eyes half-lidded and his movements reserved, clinging onto the false hope that Bokuto wouldn't move because he didn't want to wake him. But Akashi knew that this wasn't the case. He just wanted to. He just didn't want to accept it. Stretching out a trembling arm, Akashi took hold of Bokuto's hand. He shut his eyes and squeezed his palm. It was cold. His hands trembled harder every passing second, as if the movement would cause Bokuto to wake up. Akashi's face buried into the crook of his neck. He nudged the bridge of his nose against the cold skin. His lips brushed against his collarbone in desperate search of that familiar warmth. Both hands had clasped around Bokuto's own now, quivered without pulse. He didn't find his pulse. Oh my god. Desperation weighed down on Akashi in that instant. It was a surreal feeling, one that he could never in 1,000,000 years describe. It squeezed him, threatening to crush him from the inside out. The pain seared itself into his soul, hindering him, rendering him speechless, to a point where he no longer knew what words were. A sob wrenched in its way out of Akashi's throat. He tried desperately to hold it in, tried so hard to keep himself together, but he knew he was too weak to pull such a bluff. Once the second sob had left him, he felt himself spiraling. There was no hiding. He was undone. His body jerked with each sob that was torn from him. His frame curled to bring himself closer. He held his face against the coarse neck just beneath the jawline, holding it in the way that was left for a Bokuto. He had so many things he wanted to do with him, so many things he wanted to say, but all of these things seemed to have fallen away once the moment had finally come. Akashi didn't want to scream. He couldn't find his voice. Not even a sentence could get past his suffering. He kept himself against Bokuto and held him with a little strength he had left. He didn't get up to alert the nurse or the doctors or anyone in the hospital. He knew once they find out, they would take Bokuto away from him. So he stayed in place, holding on to Bokuto, taking in his company for one last time before he'll never see him again. Once Akashi had left the hospital, he never looked back. He walked home that day, balled up blankets in his arms, a bangle star around his neck, and nothing more from the hospital. He held them against his frame in the 20-degree weather, and not many people gave him weird, strange looks and watched him sideways. None of this affected him in the slightest. The cold was no longer a factor to Akashi. He didn't feel it. His mind wouldn't allow him to. He made it home without so much as a hello to his parents, who sat in the living room. They asked him questions. He answered. They asked about the blanket and scarf, but they never asked about Bokuto. Oh, I hate crying. Bokuto was glad, not Bokuto. Akashi was glad it was a good idea to have never told them about him after all. He ascended the steps to his room, bawling Bokuto's blankets up dropped into one of his beds along with the star. He reached into his pockets to fetch out his phone and, He reached into his pockets to fetch out his phone and, Bokuto, and pressed call on the comments. He held it up to his ear, waiting for the others to pick up. Once they did, Akashi was greeted with a hello. Akashi hesitated. He saw thinking and looked out the window. Hello, Kuro? It's Akashi. Are you busy? Kuro's voice was reserved and reluctant. No, I'm not. If it isn't too much trouble, can I come over? Kuro was quiet on the other end. He already knew. He inhaled audibly and could hear a scratching sound after a moment. He finally spoke, his voice solemn. Sure. And then he goes over to, okay, I'm gonna skip a little bit. So he's in, Kura's house, and so I'm gonna read from where it says he feared that if he did, he wouldn't be able to keep his emotions back. How did he look? Kura asked with a hesitant tone. It took a while to respond. When I woke up, yeah. Well, I looked down, let out a half-hearted grunt, and continued to stare forward. Pale, sick, dead. How did you find out that he wasn't there's any more? His entire body was relaxed, his head on mine, the weight of someone who's unconscious. This time, Kuro was the one to grunt. The sound coming from deep within his chest. He was slow to speak up again, but did either way. Are you going to his funeral? No. So sad. I want to read one. Okay. Stared at the phone screen and read the last messages that were sent to them. So these are the messages between Bokuto and Akashi. Bokuto, sent at 1:15 a.m. December 20th. Hey Akashi. Are you awake? Akashi. Yeah, I am. What is it? Bokuto. I'm excited for you to come over tomorrow. Akashi. I visit you every day, though. Bokuto. I know. You never miss a day. Don't your parents ever ask why you come here so much? Akashi. They think I'm interning, so they don't mind. Bokuto. Oh, works for me. Akashi. I would hope so. It works for me as well. I'll be sure to bring my laptop when I visit. We can watch Cloud Atlas. Don't know how to say that, sorry. Again, Bokuto. Yes, please. Thank you, Akashi. December 20th. 5 days before Christmas. 3:54 a.m. You're probably asleep. Sorry for always messing you so late. Sleep well, Akashi. I'll see you soon. Akashi sounded. A familiar pain pierces his chest. He reread, Sleep well, Akashi, and inhaled with, I'm trying. I am not crying. And this is the thing that breaks everything. They're laying in bed together and they're talking, and I think it's Bokuto. Yeah, Bokuto spoke, his voice peaceful, healthy, whole. I found you. A trembling, tender laugh escaped Akashi. He smiled. You found me. This is so freaking. This was made 8 years ago, I think. Am I currently crying? Yes, I am. I hate this so much. So sad. And I only read the parts. And oh wait, it does mention somewhere. It's like Bokuto doesn't smell like a hospital anymore. He smells like home. This is so sad. And the anime is a freaking volleyball anime with literally nothing sad. It's just happiness. And then the fanfic, depression. I've read this over and over again. 3 nights straight. I'm going insane. Okay, bye. I'm gonna go cry in my bed and watch really sad TikToks. Bye.